Hello everyone. Konrad from CGLM.EU welcoming you warmly. Before we dive into the main topic, I strongly encourage you to subscribe, share, and give thumbs up on my YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram channels. Today we have another hoist. This is a GIS hoist model LP500. According to the nameplate, the model is called LP500/1ND8+. This means that we have a hoist in the D8 Plus version. Let's start by discussing the nameplate as usual. This hoist is from 2022, so it's almost new. On the nameplate, we have the serial number. This hoist is powered and controlled by a single cable. Among the important parameters, the hoist weighs 23 kilograms. Here we have an installed profiled chain with dimensions of 5.25 × 15. A meter of such a chain weighs about 70 decagrams. On the other side of the hoist, we find the next nameplate, which provides information about the ED parameter, which in the case of this hoist is 40%. This means that the hoist can continuously operate for 24 minutes within an hour. Then it needs a rest. As you can see, the hoist does not have any handles. This is a matter of what the customer requested when placing the order, because there is an option for the hoist to be equipped with a handle. It's sturdy and shouldn't cause you any problems in the future. The next thing is the chain bag. It's disassembled here, but we have a bag and a special handle. We install it from this side, and here is also the end of the chain. Now someone might wonder why we need this handle when we could install a screw here and attach the bag. I've had hoists come to my workshop where, for various reasons, the customer did not have this special bracket and also did not have a handle. The hoist was lifted by the bag. When we hang a screw with a bag for the chain here, when lifting this hoist, it tilts on this screw, and these points are made in such a way that if we don't have the original handle, we can easily tear them out. If we tear them out, unfortunately, we have to replace the central part of the hoist. Otherwise, we won't be able to install the bag in any way. This is an elegant, weight-reducing and durable solution if original equipment elements are used. The next thing is the chain guide. It's slightly damaged here, but this damage doesn't affect the hoist's operation. A very cool thing that you won't find, at least for now, with other manufacturers, is the chain guide, which consists of two elements. It is made of plastic, so this is definitely a plus. Underneath is another chain guide, also made of plastic, and the chain tensioner, which is around the chain sprocket, and is also made of plastic, so if you ever pull a twisted chain, there's a good chance the chain will not be damaged. Although all these guides will then need to be replaced. Maybe the chain sprocket will need to be replaced, or maybe not. So here is a big plus for GIS that all these elements are made of plastic. And as I said, a big plus also for the fact that this chain guide consists of two elements, which means that to replace it, we don't have to remove the chain. It's a big convenience. Probably the best I've encountered so far. Let's move on. Here we have a hook. The body of the hook is screwed. It allows us to check every time whether everything inside is in order. Everything can be checked and greased thoroughly. An important thing: information regarding the load capacity is not provided here in the form of a sticker, but in the form of a riveted plate. This makes the durability of such marking much greater than stickers used by other manufacturers. So, another plus. This is a version of the hoist with a hook installed. Notice that the bearing of this hook is open. This means that at any time, if you notice that something is wrong, you can inject a bit of grease, of course, as recommended by the manufacturer inside. Another big plus. Of course, this hoist can be equipped with an eyelet that is also available from other manufacturers. However, here it is smaller, which again reduces weight. Now let's try to take a look inside. As I mentioned, in the D8 Plus version hoist, we have two brakes, and here we have the electrical connection. And this element is something I haven't been able to show you before in the case of devices from other manufacturers. This is the gearbox of the hoist, and now please pay attention that this element is not installed anywhere deeper, and it is closed in its own body. What does that mean? If there is ever a gearbox failure and it needs to be disassembled, we have the same situation as with other manufacturers, meaning that technicians are not allowed to open the gearbox and nothing can be replaced inside. But in GIS products, we have two options, which is one more than with other manufacturers. We can send this hoist to the manufacturer as with other companies, or we can commission a technician to replace the entire gearbox. Then we need a little bit of work, and the gearbox is replaced as a whole. And the manufacturer thus allows such replacement in the case of authorized technicians like me. It may be a more expensive repair than replacing a single gear. However, if we consider the issue of sending the hoist to Switzerland and waiting times for shipping, repair, and return, it may turn out that it is better to replace the entire gearbox. So from my point of view, this is another very big plus. Now let's move on. Since we're talking about conveniences, pay attention. Here we have a clutch installed and the entire clutch is also exposed. If the lining or the clutch pressure plate is damaged, an authorized technician can easily replace it. Another thing, if we ever happen to pull a twisted chain inside, then replacing these two guides is very simple. But besides that, we can also damage the chain tensioner inside. To access it, all we need to do is open the hoist from the other side, and we already have access to the damaged parts. What's also important is that from the motor side, we have the option to remove the chain sprocket. This means that if it ever gets damaged, we also don't have to send this hoist to the manufacturer to replace it because it's exposed. So, this is another very big plus. Just like in hoists from, for example, Chainmaster, the main brake closes immediately, while the secondary brake closes with a slight delay, which means that the second brake is always like new. By the way, before I open it from the other side, some of you probably noticed that the chain in this new hoist is dry. And here comes the question, should we lubricate this chain? We have the answer here in the form of a pictogram. Of course, lubricate. These situations can happen in every hoist manufacturer because the lubricated chain waits for installation in the hoist, then the finished product waits for sale, transport, and delivery to the customer. During this time, the chain may dry out. Now, what to do if we receive such a hoist directly from the manufacturer or distributor? If we have the oil for hoist chains, use it. I emphasize, not the kind used for chainsaw chains, as I've seen such cases before. If we don't have it, we should contact a technician to lubricate the chain. We need to do it because there may be a situation where after the first year, when you want to send this hoist to a technician, it turns out that corrosion appears due to very bad weather conditions in which such a hoist may operate. So we lubricate the chains. Let's see what's on the other side. We have the motor and the second part of the electrical installation connection. There is also a small rectifier here for the brake. A very simple construction underneath. If we were to remove this part of the housing, we would get to our guides. It's all very cleverly designed. And now one more important thing that I haven't mentioned before, namely, this hoist is built to IP65 protection level, which means protection against strong water jets 100 liter per minute poured onto the enclosure from any direction. As you can see, there are seals everywhere. When hoists come to me that are already several years old, as long as the seals are intact, I must admit that I hardly ever encounter water inside. So, as you can see, the folks at GIS have worked a bit on making these hoists properly protected against water. That's how it all looks. More materials will be coming soon. If you have any questions about hoists, or if you're looking for a technician, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to advise, chat, and of course, repair if needed. Please remember to subscribe, share, and give thumbs up on my channels on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Warm regards to everyone. Goodbye. English version was created using the script and ChatGPT.